You're welcome to this lecture. In this session, we are looking at session 5 of Unit 1. Unit 1 is dealing with the nature, purpose, and scope of auditing. So in this session, which is session 5, we are looking at the audit committee. Audit committee. Our session objectives. By the end of this session, you should be able to explain why audit committees are now constituted in many public companies, and she also outlined the composition of audit committees and state the main functions of audit committees. Audit committees. In recent times, many big companies have adopted the idea of audit committees, and the intent of this new development is to create space between the external auditors and the directors of the client company. The need to appoint audit committee has become all the more necessary following the Cabri Committee report in 1992. Now, the Cabri report emphasized that all quoted companies should appoint a suitable number of non-executive independent directors who should play a keen part in monitoring corporate activities and the exercise of the stewardship functions of the executive management. Now, the report also suggested that audit independence would be enhanced by periodic rotation of the audit partners responsible for the audit in question. Now, with the first part, what it means that every company that is listed on a stock exchange should appoint a suitable number of non-executive independent directors. And what this means is that they should get directors who are not employees of the firm. They are outsiders who do not have, let's say, any direct interest in the firm. So they are the non-executive and they should be independent. And if they are part of the committee, they will ensure that things are running well. They are independent, so they are not in for any particular person. Now, there should also be a rotation when it comes to audit partners to avoid a situation where there will be familiarity and then intimidation, threat, and co. So there should be a rotation of the audit partners responsible for the audit in question. The committee also reported or recommended that financial reporting should incorporate a clear statement of management statutory responsibilities and how these are to be distinguished from those of external auditors. So there should be a distinction between the responsibilities of management and that of the external auditors. Now, the director's statement should include reference to their belief that the company is a going concern and the step they have taken to affirm that status and the circumstances that could or threaten it. So this should be stated as part of or as recommended by the board, by the committee. Now the fourth thing that the report made mention is that the report made it clear that independent directors should not allow themselves to become mere rubber stamping objects, but that they should exercise their free thinking faculties intelligently and objectively and be prepared to speak against any actions of the executive directors with which they did not concur. So what it means is that the independent directors or the independent committee members should try as much as possible to be objective. They should be independent and they shouldn't be influenced by the activities of the other executive members. So if there is a situation where they disagree with the executive directors, they should be bold enough and then stand on their grounds so that the right things would be done. Now let's look at the membership of an audit committee. Membership of an audit committee. Now, Members are mainly non-executive officers of the company. When I say members of a company, they are kind of non-executive or officers of the company. Now, it is their function to view the company's position in a detached and dispassionate manner and to liaise effectively between the main board and the external auditors. So, members of this committee, which is the audit committee, they say they are mainly non-executive officers. So they don't hold positions in the business, in the company, and their main function is that they have to view the company's position in a detached and passionate manner or dispassionate manner and to liaise with this board of directors and external auditors to ensure that things are effectively done. Now, what are the functions and responsibility of the audit committee? Now, their function is to review the financial results shown by both management accounts and those presented to shareholders. They are also to make recommendations for the improvement of management controls. They are to ensure that there are adequate procedures for reviewing rights, circulars, interim statements, forecast, and other financial information before distribution to shareholders. So they are to ensure the adequacy of this procedure. Now, the fourth function or responsibility is that they are to assist external auditors in obtaining all the information they need and in resolving difficulties experienced by them in pursuing their independent examination. So if the external auditor is around and he needs some information pertaining to the audit process, he has to follow on the committee and the committee has to step in and to also resolve any difficulties that might be faced in the process of the auditor performing the independent examination. Now, the fifth responsibility is that they have to deal with any material reservations of the auditors regarding the company's management, its records, and its final account, including the manner in which significant items are presented. So they have to deal with all this matter, and they have to also facilitate a satisfactory working relationship between the management and auditors and between the internal and external audit functions. So they have to facilitate it. They are in between and they have a lot of responsibility they have to discharge. Another function or responsibility is that they are responsible for the appointment of auditors as well as fixing their remuneration. So it is not the directors of the company that appoint auditor and it's not them that fix their remuneration, but it's the responsibility of the audit committee. So the audit committee make recommendations of an auditor to the shareholders and later on do this appointment and fix their remuneration. Now, they are also to be available for consultation with the auditors at all times and if necessary without the form of management to discuss regularly and review the procedures employed by the auditors. So they have to be available for consultation with the auditors at all times. And then they have to also be concerned with all matters relating to the disclosure by the account of a true and fair view for the benefit of all users. So they have to be concerned with all these matters relating to that. In summary, we've been able to look at the composition of the audit committee and the main functions of the committee. We encourage that to read the model. Try to read it. You will not read it one and understand, but the more you read and read, the understanding would come. Thank you and see you in the next section.